What's going on there, YouTube? And welcome to Fresh Comic Stories. Guys, this is the channel that we basically sit down and cover different kinds of comic book stories from Marvel to DC to even IDW as well. But today, guys, we are going to jump into Ultimatum. Yes, we are going to continue our Ultimate Marvel coverage, and we're finally here, guys. We are finally here. Ultimatum, the event that ruined the Ultimate Marvel universe. No joke. But today, we're going to cover the first chapter of Ultimatum, which is the biggest part of the whole storyline, where we see a lot of heroes die in this tidal wave. So I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please hit that like button down below and also subscribe for more comic book videos like this in the near future. Guys, I do hope you enjoy today's video. Now, this story does a lot of jumping around in the first chapter of the book. For example, we pick up with the Fantastic Four, where we see Reed is about to propose to Susan Storm, like we saw in the end of our Ultimate X-Men Fantastic Four storyline. And we see Ben Grimm is working out in the gym made by Reed Richards, and we see Johnny Storm and Franklin Storm arguing with one another. We then pick up with the Ultimates, which again are this universe version of the Avengers, where at this point in Ultimate Marvel, they are no longer working for S.H.I.E.L.D., except they are just a superhero team being funded by Tony Stark and living in the mansion of Tony Stark as well. And so that is their base, and reminding us where they are at this point in Ultimate Marvel. This leads us over to Peter Parker and his group of friends, and this picks up right after the ending of Ultimate Spider-Man number 129 that does tie into this event, where they are all going to meet up with Johnny Storm to hang out, kind of giving us another reminder where Spider-Man is at the moment. We then pick up with some of the X-Men, Dazzler, Nightcrawler, Beast, and Angel, where they're just going to the movies to have some fun, and they also walk by Bruce Banner, telling us that Bruce Banner is going to be part of this event as well. But when you flip the page, we see that every single hero in the city realizes that it is raining outside, which is weird because it was just sunny outside a moment ago, and it quickly started to rain, except when you turn the page, we end up seeing that New York gets hit with a huge wave, and New York is basically underwater now. How did this happen? Who did this? These are the questions our heroes have. This is where the book gives us details on who drowned by the wave and who survived. We see Ben Grimm is alive and well because he was in the higher part of the Baxter building, and so that part was not underwater. But we learn that Johnny Storm and Franklin Storm were in the lower section of the Baxter building, which of course flooded and left us wondering if they are dead. And we then pick up with the Ultimates again, but it is really just a one-pager telling us that hey, Hank Pym lived. He turned into Giant Man to escape the factor of being drowned by the flood. Now we find out that Hulk is alive as well. Even though he drowned in the flood as Bruce Banner, the high level of stress turned him into the Hulk, and of course the Hulk is now in the event. But while Hulk gets out of the water, he sees one of the Watchers watching Hulk, reminding us of the events from Ultimate Origins that established the Watchers are here in this universe as well. Now, one of my subscribers told me that this was Zatu the Watcher. I forgot that. I didn't know that, but hey, thank you for letting me know. We then pick up with Peter Parker and his group of friends, where we see that they are okay because the train track was just right above the flood level of the wave, where you have Kitty Pryde phase Peter Parker out of the train to let him switch into his Spider-Man outfit and go after whoever did this. Switching over to the X-Men, we see that Angel is alive and he is swimming through the waters to find the one person he loves, which is Dazzler. But when he finds her and gets her out of the water, he finds out that she drowned. And so there goes Dazzler. She is now dead. Now we do see other Ultimates are alive and well. We see Iron Man was able to make it, and then he was able to save Steve Rogers as well. And so Captain America is still alive. Jumping back over to the Baxter building, we pick up with Reed Richards and Susan Storm, where we see that they are alive and well, except you have Reed thinking he knows who's behind all of this. But before he is able to tell us who he think it is, you have Susan Storm use her powers to push the water back into the ocean, cleaning out most of the streets of the flood. But with her doing that, she pushed herself past her limit, and so she passed out. And you have Reed hand her over to Ben Grimm to go after who he thinks is at fault for this tidal wave, where he thinks it is Namor. And Reed has a good reason why, because Namor has the ability to actually flood a city or even a country. Heck, he could probably flood the whole world if he wanted to. And so Reed went to find Namor, and when he does, this leads into a fight between the two of them. But you have Namor tell Reed that he is actually innocent and that he did not flood New York. And the reason why is because he is in love with Susan Storm. And the battle ends with Reed being able to knock out Namor, but leaving him wondering who is behind all of this. Now we jump over to Latveria, and this is crazy because this shows us that not only New York was hit by something, that Latveria was affected as well, because we pick up with Dr. Doom, who realized that the temperature had dropped. And so when he goes outside to check upon his people of Latveria, they are frozen in place. The temperature dropped that much, which is huge. Now to close the first actual chapter of Ultimatum, we see Charles Xavier in pain because the psychic screams of all the deaths from the people who drowned in the wave were heard by him, including his own X-Men who died in the flood. And he tells us that Hank McCoy is dead once again, but for real this time. Dazzler is confirmed dead, and we learn so is Nightcrawler. But you have Charles Xavier reach out to all of the heroes of the Ultimate Marvel Universe, calling them to come together to take down the person who is behind all of this. That Charles Xavier knew one day this would happen. And the reason why he knows this is because the person behind all of this is no other than Magneto, which he told us at the end of Ultimates 3, they were going to pay the ultimate price for the death of his children. And this is where we are going to end today's video. And so guys, please hit that like button down below and also subscribe for more comic book stories like this in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read? Well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'm out of here, and I will see you on the next comic book video. Later, guys.